Yeah, what's good? It's your boy Whispy Woodz. And in this video, you guys, this is basically just a little quickie. Just want to make this real clear, just in case a few of you really still feel as though, time and, the whole time traveling thing isn't playing a reference into what we're doing, or the fact that we've gained so much, information on the rapture and all that, there's still not any clues toward, going back in the future and all that. Understand, I'm going to get into a lot of that subject later on, okay? There's a reason why I do things, and there's a reason why I kind of chose to stay off of the time traveling aspect for a while and focus on Michael and Trevor, and it's so we can make sense of what we are not to really include when it comes to traveling in time. Now, the first thing, as you notice, that I'm going to show you here is something that we should have noticed from day fucking one, and it's pretty goddamn sad that a lot of people didn't notice this shit. Like, look at this. Sports Almanac, okay? This is in fucking Franklin's house. Franklin. Okay, just for a few of you who didn't think that time travel had to do with Franklin, okay, I'm telling you that their Easter eggs are just separate. We just have to understand how they work separately. Look, Sports Almanac, Back to the Future. See, just in case you did not know. We should have noticed this shit, you guys. It's ridiculous. This is what I'm talking about just, we, if any of you are wondering why it's taking so long, once again, for any proof to be shown, it's like, honest to God, you guys, we fucked off that whole first year. Like, honestly, we did not do shit that whole first year. I mean, for those of you who actually added ideas, yes, we gained more clarity on possibly we have to find whether, 88 miles per hour or anything like that. We've gained a lot of, theories. But this is the shit that the connections are what we've been missing. Because, honest to God, people don't, they just didn't give a fuck about making those connections. And that's all I'm trying to do here is make the connections for us to be able to see a path clearer, But, like I said, we're only getting to the beginning of certain things. And for those of you who think this shit is over, it is far from it. And just beware, because EP 6.5 is coming, and hopefully I can get it out before the end of this week, and just, so you guys can be really, filled in with the information. And one question I wanted to answer one of my subs that, honestly hit me like 10 times in the last few hours. And I understand, dude, like, he was showing me a comment that somebody had sent me about, it's this guy who noticed that Trevor and Michael can max out their capacity and their bullets for 10,000, and Franklin can only max out his bullet range to 2,500. Now, I think, okay, I've come up with a reason for that, and I think that they are dates. And one thing that's in common is the 10,000, but that is to work in duality, okay? If any of you have ever seen the movie 10,000 BC, I suggest you see it, because it's about a blue-eyed, okay? A blue-eyed almighty man, okay? And it's so funny because, like, a lot of that shit is just about whether the aspect of cavemans and Darwinism, or the aspect of the ending when when they kiss and it shows the panning of the sun, or the aspect of the main character's wife being brought back to life, okay, reincarnated through breath, the breath, okay, yoga, think about it. And another thing is the 2,500, and when you look up 2,500 BC, you get a lot of dates. But one thing that is very interesting about these dates is this. Okay, so now we're looking at Wikipedia for the 25th century BC. And a few things are interesting about this era is the fact that, well, aside from the Mesopotamian era being within those eras, it's basically a lot of the stories that were in the Bible, okay, were said in the Mesopotamian, like, script way before it was, written in certain aspects of other religions and stuff like that. So a lot of those stories were created, from the Mesopotamians. So aside from that, what's interesting about the very first one on the 25th century is, I'm not even gonna pronounce that fucking word. I'm gonna butcher that shit. But let's see if you can get a clear shot. Basically, it's a it translates to mound of the dead. That is the literal term of this word. Okay, and sorry if I can't focus too much on this. Just to get a good idea. I'm just gonna show you that this place was somewhat relevant when it came to the history of cockfighting. Okay, we all know that we've been dealing with things of cocks and all that nature, but it also, this place also may have been a point of diffusion for the eventual worldwide domestication of chickens. Okay, so that's just one thing that's tied to this era within the 25th century. Then there's another that was really interesting that's going to tie something, which kind of makes sense why they would put this in the game. Here is, let's see if I can get his, there you go. It's Khafra. Okay, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it, absolutely right, but he is basically the pharaoh of the 4th dynasty. Could be in duality of the 4th paradigm. Okay, and he's a pharaoh. That's one major thing I want to bring to light. Not only is he a pharaoh, but he was very relevant when it came to the Pyramid of Giza. Okay, the second largest Pyramid of Giza. And if you don't know, this pyramid, like most pyramids, are known as satellites. So, once again, I think that these numbers, 2,500 and 10,000, were just, once again, references for all the things that we've been looking up. And if you, if you're a little skeptical to this pharaoh thing, I'm going to show you something. Okay, now we are still at Franklin's house, but this is part of what I'm talking about when it comes down to paying attention. I find it funny, a lot of people are just rushing to go try shit, but they're missing the shit that's right in front of their face, just like Rockstar said. Honestly, you guys, I find it funny that you haven't noticed in most of my videos that a lot of the times I'm showing you shit that's just right in their house. Okay? So if you think about just that symbolism, wait till we actually go outside in the world and do certain things, okay? Like I said, there's a lot more coming soon. But you have to bear with me on the information aspect because we must make connections along the way. Now, I'm going to show you why this is even relevant if you do not already know. And it's something that was, once again, right under our nose. Okay, look. Pharaoh, sun god. Now, I do know that this is, in fact, a company within GTA regardless, but they put this shit right in the back of Franklin's house, like, come on, man. Pharaoh. All that shit is correlated. They wanted you to understand the century, time. It's all relevant in aspect, and it's all understood within duality if you understand certain aspects of it. But either way, we will be touching down on more bases, like I said. And more gameplays will be coming soon, like I said, too. I want people to understand, take everything with a grain of salt so that we can actually take the time to understand what we're even looking at. A lot of people are just ready to use what we have already learned, but that's your eagerness. You need to shelf it, okay? You need to really shelf it and understand first. Okay, you've understood this far, and we've only begun. Like, this is only the beginning of understanding certain things about their Easter egg. And then we can start understanding the steps and the possible things that we have never noticed. Spread the truth.